Have a listen to this. Have a listen to this.
Interest rates are higher. I know people don't like that, but you should be welcoming a stronger economy.
And maybe a deal has a point about the machinery of capitalism being oiled with the blood of the
The
worker.
United States is a country that has always paid all of its bills.
Lannister always pays his debts.
Don't let the bastards get you.
Hello and welcome to Comedian versus Economist. We demystify the world of money and help you get a handle on the bigger picture. My name's Adam and we're joined as always by my little older brother and real-life economist, Thomas. Hi, Thomas.
Yeah, g'day, Adam. How you going?
Doing really well, thank you.
So, hey, just want to give a shout out to my dear friend Greer, who's didn't know I was a regular listener, but she tunes in regularly. She had her birthday during the week, so happy birthday, Greer.
Happy birthday, Greer. Oh, lovely. Did you buy her a gift?
No, I said I'd give her a shout out.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah. It's the thought that counts. Hey, maybe you could get her some poems. Talk about that.
Oh, she'd love some poems. Yeah.
There we go. On the way, Greer. Stay near your letterbox. Should also mention the new podcast series I'm doing over on Equity Mates Investing Podcast. Buy or sell, now we're calling it, due to legal reasons. But this week, a new episode just dropped yesterday, actually. Spoke to Andrew Page from strawman.com. And I don't want to give too much away, but it was all buys, which I love. All buys on the buy. No sells, no holds in the no holds bar, as we're calling it.
Wow.
So, make sure you go and check that out over on the Equity Mates Investing podcast feed and shoot me an email, cve@equitymates.com if you're enjoying it, or even if you're not enjoying it. I'd appreciate the feedback either way. Massive show coming up, as always. We've talked about lithium and uranium before, but today we're looking at a new metal. Sorry, no, we're looking at Mattel. They make toys. Not even metal toys. No wonder they're struggling. AI also took on the big four consultancy firms this week and lost. Oh, how it lost. And could getting angry help with productivity? I don't think Anna will agree, but I'm pretty sure that swearing at the washing machine did help me fix it. So we've got evidence. But first, Thomas, you've got some more financial data for us. My first question is, what's wrong with you?
Yes, no. Yeah, no, it's interesting data this time.
Yeah. Says you. I think you said that last time.
Yeah, no, we got some data out of Equifax. Equifax does all the credit data in Australia. So
that's what they actually also call the Equity Mates fax machine. If you're looking for it. If you do want to send us a fax, you can email us, cve@equitymates.com, or send us a fax to Equifax, the brother fax machine. It's next to the kitchen.
Thanks. I love what you bring. Yeah. Yeah, so or if you go for a loan and they assess your credit data, they're using Equifax data. They hold data on almost 20 million Australians. But the CEO was in Australia last week, and she's saying that they're seeing the early warning signs of a tougher banking period ahead, saying they've seen a spike in demand for credit cards and personal loans in the last quarter. Yes, applications for new credit cards were up 7%, while new loans are up 8% in the quarter. In the quarter compared to the quarter 12 months ago.
Is this because the war chest of savings is run dry?
Run down.
Is that what's happened?
Well, yeah, I think that's a big part of the story. I mean, it's unbalanced in the sense that that war chest was highly skewed towards older people. Younger people did not have a war chest.
No, most of them don't even own chests of any kind. It's usually older people that.
That's right. Here's the war chest next to the linen chest. That's right. So yes, it's skewed. I mean, it's still small change. Yeah, at this stage. So we've got mortgage data as well. So delinquencies are starting to rise. Loans overdue between 30 and 90 days is 47% higher than 12 months ago. Those over 90 days are 9% up year on year.
Yeah.
But we're still talking about, like with that 90 days and over, we're still talking about just 0.35% of the mortgage market. So it's still very small, but we're starting to, it's the direction that matters here. And yeah, we're starting to see a bit of pain in the household sector.
So this isn't a this isn't a big problem
No.
yet.
No. This isn't. No,
Right.
no. We're not ringing the alarm bells yet. But what we're saying is that that the rate hikes that we have seen are starting to have an impact. And with more coming than a bit of pain ahead.
Right. Is it gonna change the approach from the RBA? Are they going to change their thinking?
You wouldn't think so. So they publish a financial stability review, which is designed to look at how.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're well across that one.
I read it yesterday. It's a cracker. Everyone, they keep pumping out the content. It's fantastic.
Just content machines. Yeah. One of the things I did note is that the frequency of Google searches relating to financial stress had spiked to the highest level since the pandemic started.
That's very tech savvy. I didn't peg them as using that as an input.
Yeah. So they're aware of this, and I think but it's also, this is what you want. Well, what they want to see happen is you do need to create this pain in the economy to slow the economy down. And so that's and that's what you expect. Kind of the puzzle is that we've had 400 basis points of rate hikes, and we haven't seen that much pain yet. Like retail sales came out for September, and that was hotter than economists were expecting. They were looking for 0.3%, came in at 0.9%. And 2% over the year. So that's actually pretty bumper.
This is probably anecdotal evidence, but I have noticed a slowdown in the secondhand speaker market on Facebook Marketplace. So I do like to buy and sell secondhand speakers, and it's getting harder to sell. There just doesn't seem to be the liquidity in the speaker market.
Oh, what? No, you got some. You're trapped with some inventory, aren't you?
I'm holding at the moment. Couple of nice Australian-made speakers here.
Australian-made speakers.
So I'm not gonna use our podcast platform to hawk my speaker wares. Don't worry. But I just thought it was some data that was worth sharing.
Right. So you're seeing less buying interest at the moment, you're saying?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and prices are down.
Okay, yeah.
I'm seeing things like, as I browse the market, I'm seeing things saying, selling for less but staying on there for longer. So
we should have led with that data, this equity facts rubbish.
It's all right. We'll title the show. Aaron Bookshelf Speakers, $80.
Pick up only.
Pick up. Okay, Thomas, seems Barbie has toppled over and fallen on her face. What's going on? I thought she was going great guns. Oh, there's a movie with Barbie.
Yeah. No, well, this is the thing. It's the Mattel stock price. Mattel's the manufacturer of Barbie and behind the movie. It boomed. It was up 20-odd% in the run-up to Barbenheimer, the Barbie movie release date. So it was trading around $17 US, got up to around 22. But now it's sort of tanked. Had a rough week last week with Mattel and Hasbro, another toy manufacturer, releasing results, and they were a bit disappointing. So it's sort of back to around where it was pre Barbie boom.
Just imagine Barbie standing in line outside a big pink Centrelink. Falling on tough times.
Mutual obligation Barbie.
What does Barbie do? I haven't seen the movie. Does she have a job? Like, does Barbie work? Or are there different working Barbies?
There were, yeah. There's astronauts, presidents, all sorts of things.
Oh, so she got lots of jobs. She's like ScoMo. The toy equivalent of ScoMo.
Minister for Home Affairs, Barbie. Yeah. So it's an interesting story. I mean, it's interesting because you look at that and it looks like a classic buy the rumor, sell the fact kind of story, because it got up to $22 before Barbie even released. And that was peak hype, I guess, coming into the release of the actual movie. Then it tracked sideways for a couple of months, and then it's sort of fallen off pretty sharply now. So, so it looks like buy the rumor, sell the fact. And so it just seems like a little bit of a hype cycle.
So Mattel, like Barbie's just one product that Mattel has though, right? So, but is it such a big percentage of their product suite that that kind of, the movie had that bigger bump and then has now had that bigger correction on their price?
No, I mean, I did the numbers on the revenue. So the CEO was saying that they thought the movie would give them an extra 125 million in revenue, but that's off a base of $5.2 billion in annual revenue. So it's extra 2.5%. With all the licensing of the movies and extra toy sales and all of that is maybe going to give you an extra 2.5% to your revenue. Maybe there's a higher margin there, so that's bigger in your profit margins. It's hard to know, but not massive because they've got hundreds of brands, and yeah, I don't know. Barbie's such a huge thing.
They also own Transformers.
No, that's Hasbro. Hasbro own Transformers. Yeah. Interestingly, Mattel and Hasbro have announced they're going to get together and start creating content together.
Oh, Barbie Transformers.
Yeah, look for a Barbie Transformers crossover coming your way.
She can turn into the Barbie caravan. But it'll be empty because then Barbie won't be able to go inside herself to be in the Barbie caravan, because Barbie will have to turn into a vehicle or a dinosaur. We could have a Barbasaur.
Yeah.
What's the future for Mattel then? Are they going to bounce back?
So this was the hype, and I think this is what drove the stock price, was that this was their first foray into like movies and content creation around the toys, and saying and because it was such a success, and they're now talking about it like as being like a case study in marketing. Like there was such an effective marketing campaign because the kind of the instinctual reaction to a Barbie movie was cringe, and everyone's like, "Oh, I don't know, I want to see that." And that would have been my first reaction. But then I get exposed to the marketing, and then the whole Barbenheimer phenomenon, and then I go and see it, and I really enjoy it. And so there are people saying like, one, the content they created was amazing, and two, the marketing around that content was also world class.
Right.
And so people then looking at Mattel differently. Okay, you're not just a toy manufacturer, you're a bit more like a Disney or something now. Like maybe Mattel has, in a few years, has its own streaming service or something. And so that sort of shifted the way we thought about Mattel as a company.
I think people would pay, Thomas, this could be a little business idea for you. I think people would pay maybe to watch you reacting to Barbie, the movie, in the theater. Like as you sat there and watched the Barbie movie, I'd be interested to get your reacts, your facial expressions,
the little smile I get every time Ryan Gosling comes on screen. Gosling.
Definitely. All right, why don't we take a break here, we'll grab a quick word from this week's sponsor, and be back with more Comedian versus Economist right after this. Welcome back. You're on Comedian versus Economist. You can send us an email if you like, cve@equitymates.com, or get us on Instagram and Facebook at CVE Podcast. Hey, Thomas, I did want to ask you how your poetry thing's going. You mentioned last week. Is that kicked off yet?
It's happening. I was hoping to have a website up today, but that's not going to not happen. Maybe by Wednesday, but just stay tuned next week for the details on that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's happening. I'm feeling good about it.
I was kind of curious. Where did the idea for this come from?
Yeah, it actually came from a friend of mine who was asking, like we're talking about like a bit of a meme going around like, oh, thank God the year's over, let's get into the new year kind of thing. And I feel like that since COVID, that's been the vibe. Oh, thank God the year's over. And I feel like that's like a bit of a sad and disempowered way to enter the new year. And so the question was, like, if we look back at old and ancient poetry, is there a way we can meet the new year with grace and courage and in our power? Yeah, so sort of like that's what the product is, sort of build a little journey going through poems around faith and grief, compassion, self-worth and courage, and then using the lessons of those poems to meet the new year in a good way. You're gonna love it.
Interesting. Sometimes our conversations end, and I think, "Oh, thank God that's over." That was one of them. I'm kidding, of course. No, I think I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. Something to inspire a bit of hope in all of us. Should be fun. All right. Next up in AI ruins everything. Participatory democracy. What's going on?
Yeah, no. So this is a kind of funny story. So a bunch of academics have offered an apology to the Big Four consultancy firms. There was a government inquiry into the consulting industry and whether more regulation was needed or whether the Big Four should be split up. It's a very concentrated industry. Some accounting academics from Macquarie University put in a submission which argued that the Big Four should be broken up. And then found out that a whole bunch of stuff they put in their submission was just not true because it had been generated by Google Bard and was just an hallucination.
God.
I know, it's terrible. Yeah, so the submission. So this is like a you got to write this out. I think you actually even have you can email it. You can email it to Parliament, put your name to it. But it's like a lot of work preparing a submission. Then they falsely accused KPMG of being part of the KPMG 7-Eleven wage theft scandal. Wasn't a thing.
I thought you were going to go with a gang. They're falsely accused of being part of the KPMG 7.
Yeah. No, they also accused KPMG of auditing Commonwealth Bank during a financial planning scandal. They've never audited Commonwealth Bank.
Wow.
Accused Deloitte of being sued by the liquidators of ProBuild for failing to properly audit its accounts. Deloitte never audited ProBuild.
Wow.
There was the Deloitte NAB financial planning scandal, which had nothing to do with Deloitte either.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then accused Deloitte of falsifying the accounts of a company called Patisserie Valerie, which is like a UK pastry chain. Deloitte had nothing to do with them either.
And there was that time that Deloitte got drunk and drove a Ferrari into the Sydney Harbour, the Sydney Opera House. Do you remember that? Well, this all seems very embarrassing for who was it? The academics involved, and pretty damaging to the parliamentary inquiry and their claims to disband the Big Four. Which is a gang.
Is a gang. Wait, are they careful? We're accusing them of being a gang.
I just asked ChatGPT what the Big Four was, and it said they are a local gang who specialise in consultancy.
Yeah, but this is the funny thing because it's in a parliamentary inquiry, and then everything in an inquiry is covered by parliamentary privilege, which means that you can't be sued in defamation. So if they had published this in a newspaper, the Big Four could then sue them for defamation and say, "Hey, you can't just be saying this stuff in the public space because it's not true."
Right.
But because it's covered by parliamentary privilege, they've got no recourse other than to say, "Can you please just not publish this?"
I feel like we've discovered a loophole for like just slagging people off.
Yes.
Can anyone submit to a parliamentary inquiry?
Just like
I propose Thomas is a wanker.
Yeah. That's all right. To my submission into the use of tax credits, my neighbour's lawnmower is too noisy.
Right.
So yeah, and the thing is that the Professor James Guthrie, who's the emeritus professor at the Department of Accounting and Corporate Governance, very ironically, he only started using Google Bard that week.
Right.
So, yeah.
First question. Please fill out my parliamentary inquiry submission.
Oh, no.
Also, how do you make cheese? Yeah, and if you're going to go with AI, like, he's obviously new to the game because Bard's not your top shelf AI at the moment. Like, they're an also ran at best.
It doesn't even look at Alphabet's stock price.
I did find this the 20 best Bard fails, and it said this guy asked Google to complete the remaining months of the year. Said the first 2 months of the year are January and February. What are the other months of the year? And Google Bard came back with January, February, Marruary, Apriori, Mayuary, Juniary, Julyary. Like, if you're going to go to AI, get the good one. What's the lesson here, Thomas? There must be a lesson.
I think, you got to be checking this stuff still, and probably into the future. Like, I think the large language models, they're not intelligent, and they're just probabilistic language models that create language that they think that it thinks makes sense, or they think is statistically likely. So it's no actual truth filter on it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so if you're using it in stuff like for anything, yeah, we still need to be fact checking it.
Someone else asked if I'm going 8 miles an hour, how many hours will it take me to go 8 miles? Google Bard's answer, 12.5 miles. Is how many hours it will take you to go 8 miles going at 8 miles an hour. Neither the right number of hours nor the right number of miles. All right, Thomas, finally on the show, you've got a productivity hack for us. What is it?
Yeah, apparently getting angry makes you more productive.
Definitely.
Or gives you more success in your tasks. There's a study published in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology. Basically just gave made people angry and then got them to do tasks and found out that the ones who were angry did better or got further through the tasks.
Yeah. Well, I could see how that could work, because when you're angry, you just kind of want to get back to being angry. Like if you're already angry and someone's like, "I need you to do this," you're like, "Oh, whatever," and you just do it and smash it out because you're like so focused on being angry. Like it's, I don't know. That's me. What kind of tasks were they?
Well, one of them they had to like make anagrams, so like given a word and then rearrange the letters to make another word.
Right. So they
Yeah.
So they got people angry and then asked them to solve anagrams. We just cut out the middleman. Just ask them to solve an anagram, and you'll end up with someone who's angry. There's no need to There's no need to pre-anger them first. Like solving anagrams will take care of that.
They get them to play a skiing computer game.
Yeah.
So the ones who are angrier did better. So this pattern could indicate that general physical arousal had a benefit for game scores,
Right.
as this would be greater in anger compared to sad and neutral conditions. Yeah, so
Just imagine you being sad skiing down a hill, trying to remain sad while you're downhill skiing. That's some serious commitment to being sad. Just flags just bashing you in the face as you don't even try to avoid them. It's like, whatever. I don't deserve to avoid flags.
yeah, so they're saying there's a tipping point. So like if anger increases endurance, like you get very focused and you can plow through up to a point at which you become frustrated and then you quit. So there's it sounds like there's kind of an optimal level of anger.
Right, the old rage quit. Right.
Yeah, so up until that point, you're more productive.
So you somehow just need to sort of redline it and just be like peak angry, but never like. So at that point, like then you like it's usually then that one of your kids comes and asks you some inane question, and you're like, "That's it, I'm out." You just need to be being productive. That's why working from home so good.
And the other thing was that being angry did increase the chance that participants would cheat on the tasks they were given.
Oh yeah, fair enough.
So maybe just angry at the world. It's like, whatever, I'm going to cheat.
Yeah. So what's the takeaway for this one then? Just get angry all the time. Get angry and go to work. Drive to work. Commute.
Yeah, that's why the capitalist industrial complex has created commuting prior to work.
This explains the productivity drop with working from home.
Yeah.
No one's angry anymore. Everyone's happy. They're like, "Oh, had a nice relaxing breakfast. Just make my way into the spare room now and start work for the day, feeling nice and chill."
Yeah. Now, the research is saying like we often use positive emotions as tools to drive productivity, but those negative emotions have a role. Like we think of them as maladaptive, as sort of like glitches. Like when the human gets angry, it's just glitched out and is in a corrupted state. But so like negative emotions have a purpose, and when they're in their right place, they can be a tool and effective in some situations.
I was watching the Formula One this morning, and Martin Brundle, he made the comment that you can't, like Sergio Perez was angry at, I think it was Alonso maybe, and Brundle said you can't get angry in the Formula One car. It's not going to help you at all.
Really?
So I think that kind of pretty much puts pay to this entire research.
Yeah. I don't know who any of those people are.
And that's why your parties are no fun. All right. that does us for this week. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to check out the Buy or Sell podcast with Andrew Page this week. And if you haven't heard it already, go back and check out the one I did with Adam Dawes from Shaw & Partners. They're both available on the Equity Mates Investing podcast feed. And yeah, I'd love it if you tuned in, and love to hear what you think. But for Comedian versus Economist, for us, it is bye for now.
Comedian V Economist is a product of Equity Mates Media. All information in this podcast is for education and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended as a substitute for professional finance, legal, or tax advice. The hosts of Comedian V Economist are not financial professionals and are not aware of your personal financial circumstances. Before making any financial decisions, you should read the product disclosure statement and, if necessary, consult a licensed financial professional. Do not take financial advice from a podcast. For more information, head to the disclaimer page on the Equity Mates website, where you can find ASIC resources and find a registered financial professional near you. In the spirit of reconciliation, Equity Mates Media and the hosts of Comedian V Economist acknowledge the traditional custodians of country throughout Australia and their connections to land, sea, and community. We pay our respects to their elders, past and present, and extend that respect to all Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people today.